Are there changes coming for the Texans on offense? Or do they now have a new rally cry in Baltimore? My gosh, if it couldn't get any better for them and better for the Texans. Worse, I should say, when it comes to Baltimore. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not.
Wild Thursday night game. And spoiler alert, if DeMeco Ryans were doing a press conference tomorrow, he would say that's a teaching moment. That's why you can't sleep on teams that are depleted without starting quarterbacks and star players and all that. And the NFL players, they get paid too and all that. Come on. I get it. And I'm sure that's probably a good lesson that he wants to put out there. But look at this Baltimore injury report. By the way, this video is brought to you by Sleeper, the #1 app in the entire game, the #1 app in the game. And right now, Sleeper has an incredible thing going. You can already get $100 back when you use the promo code Locker. But check this out. Up to $100 back when you use the promo code Locker. But check this out. Now Sleeper is offering, and I got to double check this to make sure this is right. So they have a new offer. You get a free $20 deposit into your account. No deposit required. Plus, first-time users also get the match. So if you just want to mess around with $20 for free, all you got to do is go to Sleeper, download the app, and there is no deposit required. I had to double-check this. It's an incredible promo, and the existing promo, when you use the code Locker, still exists, but you can get $20 for free when you go to Sleeper. Best in the game. And I'll be honest, I'm out of my Sleeper survivor pool after that dub. I changed my pick to San Francisco. I moved the Lions to the Rams. So I'm out. So that is where we're at. And that will be a teaching moment for DeMeco Ryans. Let's look at this, though. Let's look at this injury report for the Ravens. And this is absolutely insane when you look at this. This is the injury report for the Baltimore Ravens. Kyle Hamilton now didn't practice, and the reports are that he actually injured himself in practice on Wednesday when he was limited. So perhaps him being limited had to do with the fact that he got hurt. A lot of times when you're limited, it's something that is planned ahead of time. He got hurt. So now Kyle Hamilton, you add him to the list. Their 5 best players literally probably won't play on Sunday. Now, they've also added a couple of guys. And the Baltimore Ravens, this is a game that the Texans got to have. It is so bad for Baltimore. You hear DeMeco Ryans talk about communication, and you hear him talk about, we got to communicate out there. The Baltimore Ravens are down to their 3rd string communicator. The 3rd string dot guy is where they are. This is their DB coach talking about who is going to do that if Roquan Smith won't play. He's not. And Kyle Hamilton doesn't play. Who in the hell is going to control the communication?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it is at practice, we're allowed to have multiple guys with the green dot. And we've been having that since the springtime. So I personally feel comfortable with all the different options that we have going into a game. Preseason, we could good work with that, like Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith didn't play in the preseason. So we'll have guys. It won't be anybody's first time doing it if they have to do it.
All right, there you go. So you have that as well. This is not, something to – the Texans will not take the Ravens lightly because the Texans don't have a good history there. The Rams perhaps took San Francisco lightly because they can get fat and happy. The Rams are not 1-3. They should be. They could easily be undefeated, but they've lost 2 games now. They're fine in their division. They're fine. So they got a little bit fat and happy. Texans aren't good enough to be fat and happy at this point. So while the San Francisco comparison will be something that they mention, I don't blame them for doing so. I don't think it's completely proportional when it comes to where the Texans are and what they can and can't do. Let's go to the super chat here on the Locker Room. Number one source, Texans digital content. SNL tomorrow at 4, post game immediately after the Ravens game.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Malik has a 2-piece. He says Al Michaels needs to retire. His commentary is delayed. Al Michaels is old, man. Isn't he in his 80s? Am I exaggerating? Al Michaels is old as hell. Al Michaels is 80 years old. He turns 81 in November. I think it's pretty based on what you need to do for that job, I agree. The voice, even when he is kind of sleepwalking, still kind of has some nostalgia to it. Because it does kind of register as something big going on. I actually think this year he's been more in his bag than he was when Amazon Games first started. When Amazon Games first started, I think he was just kind of coasting, or maybe there was something that he had to address, whether it was seeing or hearing or whatever. But I think he's gotten better. Hasn't been awesome. I do think his knowledge of clock management and his knowledge of situations is the best of all time when it comes to broadcasters, and he's obviously one of the GOATs. But yeah, I mean, it's he's 80, dude. Like, and that when the fact that he's even sounding like he is at 80 is pretty wild. But I guess in a performance business, it doesn't matter. Malik also says, was watching earlier, bro. You're overreacting about them not reacting like it's a big deal. Why should they in public, specifically when Ryan will take it back? I'm thinking you're talking about the play calling thing. I've thrown out theories on this. We'll just reset that. That's a good assist from Malik. We'll also get into changes on offense. There's one change on offense that I can guarantee you will happen. I guarantee. Promise you, it will happen. I'll let you decide how big it is or not, but it's happening. And we kind of got a taste of it last week, and it might not be what you think. But what Malik is talking about is DeMeco Ryans letting Matt Burke call plays. And DeMeco Ryans, when asked by Cody Stutz, who you can hear with me on SNL Monday through Friday at 4, you can also join us at Spanky's on the 17th and 31st of this month for the next gathering. We always got surprises planned for you. We'll be there at 3 till whenever. So come join us the 17th and 31st at the greatness that is Spanky's, the homemade doughs, the homemade sauce, the great menu top to bottom, which a lot of people are learning about, the full bar, all the TVs, everything. Join us at Spanky's the 17th and 31st. Here was Cody asking DeMeco about the play calling.
Calling the defense, what does it allow you to redistribute some of your time to other portions of the team? Like, where does it allow you to redistribute that?
Not calling it. I'm still locked in on the defense. I'm there. We're all talking on the headset. So defensively, offensively, I'm dialed in every phase. So we're all talking, seeing what adjustments and things we need to make, how they're playing us, what do we need to do to make the proper adjustments to help us to be in position to win the game.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I get it. Not really, but it's nothing changes when he does that. There's no reason that he did it. That's what DeMeco said. All right. I think it could be as simple as he wanted Matt Burke to get a chance to do it, and he doesn't want to say it, which I don't get why. But Matt Burke was up there, and he continued the same bit, and I just asked him, well, then what's the point of even doing it? Here's what he said.
Had one of the better defenses since you and DeMeco have been here, and y'all kind of downplayed you calling the defense and him not. What's the point of doing it then? What's the point of switching and having you, because it's just been kind of presented as, oh, business as usual. What goes into doing it then?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just you'd have to ask Coach that about what the motivation for him was, and for me, I prepare every week to do that. You know what I mean? That's my job, and in that preparation for me, that's communicating with him, hey, this is what I think and what he thinks, and so there's always that back and forth regardless of kind of who's pressing the button. So I don't know, it was business as usual for us. Like, all our game plan meetings were the same, like the idea sharing and the thought process is the same, and all the coaches that are working kind of their areas, their specialties, that are bringing thoughts to the table. I mean, again, it's such a collaborative effort from the whole staff, not just me and DeMeco, and so I think, I really believe that, when it comes to Sunday, that work's been put in, and hopefully, we're on the same page. I mean, when DeMeco's calling it, I'm going, oh yeah, okay, cool, good call. That's what I'm thinking, same type of stuff. So I try to make that process the same regardless of what my role is on Sunday, and we'll see as it goes forward. I mean, I prepare the same way every week.
Okay. I mean, if y'all say so. There's got to be a reason why you did it, though. And I think that some fans, I think Malik falls into it in this instance. I think y'all try to put yourselves into, and I think a lot of media does it too. You try to put yourselves into what they're thinking, and sometimes they're just overthinking, and you're lowering what common sense should tell you that this is weird the way they're handling this. It's weird. It's unnecessary. It could be as simple as, I wanted to see how Burke would handle it in case push ever came to shove. It could be as simple as, I wanted to be able to fully put my attention on every aspect of the game and see what that looked like. We wanted to try something different. It could be that simple. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if DeMeco took the defense back, but even then, you just say, we just wanted to get a look at it. You see it all the time with players. But what's happened now, and I think it has to do with Nick Caserio as much as anything, they kind of, do you have any friends who are kind of like pathological liars? And harmless pathological liars, but they'll just lie about anything. And not necessarily now, but back when you're in high school or whatever. I think you kind of cut pathological liars as much as you can out of your life, like in real life. But I'm talking harmless ones. I'm not talking sick pathological liars. I don't expect DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caserio to tell us every little thing, but this has almost become a situation where they just lie just to lie. And they put themselves in position to where they just look kind of paranoid and silly. Does that make them worse coaches? No. Does it matter in the big scheme of things? I mean, I don't know. Do fans like to know some type of stuff? A lot of times you overthink stuff. That's why you have them go up there and have their best interest of the team. Every move we make is in the best interest of the team one day, and then 2 days later, we traded him because he wanted to play more. That's why you overthink the injuries one day, and you have an awkward ass rant that doesn't make any sense with some of the worst analogies that you've ever heard. And then 3 days later, you start the press conference off with injury reports. They've gotten to where, between DeMeco and Caserio, and I think DeMeco's as much Patriot way as Caserio, they've gotten to where they overthink stuff, and they think there's some sort of paranoia when it comes to information. You should see how little we see at practice now. The window is just boom. San Francisco, they still interview injured players. They still see pretty much every play of practice. I didn't hear Kyle Shanahan's game plan today. So it's just kind of weird to me to act like it's not a big deal that one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, which is what DeMeco Ryans is, decides not to call defense, and it's nothing. I'm not sitting here saying it's major. So if you're if you're taking me talking about this as me saying that it's something major, I'm not saying that, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing. And what it could be is not like something crazy that is just going to burn down your franchise. So they just remind me of the unnecessary pathological liar that has no method, and they just go up there and say stuff. Like when Christian Harris is in a cast and he's going to miss 3 months, you can say, yeah, Christian Harris had a setback. It's going to be some time before we see him. I think that's kind of easy. Joe Mixon situation, I don't know about that. There might be a little bit more to that for them, given the fact that he's on the NFI list. But they just overthink stuff, and it's the Patriot thing. So it's a weird thing to do, but it kind of is what it is. Now, is it going to be a permanent thing? Here's Matt Burke.
You anticipate that? Do you anticipate it staying this way?
I don't anticipate anything. Coach tells me what he wants me to do day to day. That's what I do. So I called defense today. How's that? I'll tell you that. Other than that, I go day to day, and wherever he thinks his focus needs to be, it is. And when it changes, it changes. But I can't do anything different but prepare to go. And when he tells me it's time to go, I go.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine. That's great. We'll see what happens. He did a good job. Matt Burke did a good job. DeMeco's done a good job for a long time. I don't anticipate it to be like some sort of permanent thing, but it's just a weird thing to worry about. It's a weird thing to worry about. Like you can say a couple of things. It's not the end of the world. Like I don't know your game plan. If you're wanting to assist Nick Caley, I don't think Nick Caley is going to like be upset. I don't even know what the point of that would be. And it doesn't even have to be permanent, but like, you don't have to like lower yourself to understand this, because what happens when you do that, when you don't think for yourself, when you're talking about the team, then you lose credibility. And I'm talking to y'all, because I see a lot of y'all in the chat. I respect what all of y'all say. Like y'all, I benefit from the people in the chat, the people that message me, the people that talk to me on Twitter. I benefit from y'all as much as y'all benefit from me and Cody. I 100% mean that. I don't try to separate myself from you. I don't hold access over anyone's head. I'm not there's people that know more ball than me in this. I get it. Like I've been doing this for 20 years or whatever, but I never try to separate myself. I try to ask questions that fans want to know. I try to ask questions that matter the most. But what happens whenever, and this is just kind of like what you notice is whenever you just decide that you're going to go gang with a player, you forget that most of you people, I do mean you people, y'all are going to be here in Houston longer than some of these guys. Like I saw a number of people when I would criticize Jack Easterby, try to defend Jack Easterby. How the fuck do you come back from that? Why would you do that? Like I'm working at the flagship station. I'm calling him a POS. I'm talking about what he said to me in private dinners about ownership and Andre Johnson. So maybe it's keeping it real goes wrong, but that's just the integrity I have. But there's some people that are defending Jack Easterby. As soon as he leaves, what happens? Oh, the POS. Really, the POS, you were defending him. Bill O'Brien, when it became apparent, people were defending Bill O'Brien. Some people were defending the David Johnson trade. Laramie Tunsil, this is another one. Me and Cody, you know what me and Cody said? Yeah, I don't know that Laramie Tunsil is really good for the mindset of this offensive line. It just seems like it doesn't vibe. I don't know what you're talking about. He's the best. He doesn't need to do everything else. And then he gets traded, and all of a sudden people are calling him a fat, lazy fuck. You got to stand on some sort of business. You don't have to like everything they do doesn't have to be awesome. It doesn't have to be a defend them. Y'all are going to be here longer than them. Y'all are going to be here longer than them. So when DeMeco does weird stuff, I promise you, he doesn't care what you think. And I think that's part of the thing when he goes up there. I don't think he necessarily respects fans. I don't think he necessarily respects media. I think it's just all players, football players, all that. I'm not saying he's the guy that was given like the nerds wedgies in high school with his leather jacket on, but I don't think he really respects it. It's not hard to say. They make it too hard on themselves. They are like an unnecessary pathological liar when they go up there at the podium. It's just strange. It's not, it doesn't make them any worse or any better. It's just strange. And the weirdest thing was today on SNL, I forget who it was. It's someone that is in the chat a lot, and he's cool. But he said something like, well, he's trying to evolve and you're questioning him. No, what I'm saying is, if it doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is and who calls plays on the defense, then maybe I've overestimated DeMeco Ryans' value. Because I thought part of the value of DeMeco Ryans was him calling plays on defense and all that. And if he is trying to evolve and he's trying to do something, then just say. He's come out before and has said that he's trying to give out more tasks to his assistants. Just say that. Just wanted to see how Burke would handle it. That's how it is, man. It's fine. Yeah, he gives no F's about the media. That's fine. I don't blame him. But on the other hand, he sure doesn't mind when he gets like an ask his question. He seems to like that a little bit. Like that's the difference between like a Patriot way. He doesn't seem to mind when he gets an ask his question. Have y'all noticed that? The ask his questions kind of seem to hit a little bit. On the chat, Malik says, I'm not deriding before you say that. We know the Texans would rather seem dumb in our eyes than be truthful. Patriots way, baby. Yeah, it's fine. I just think some things are weird to hide. Like something like that. That's like your skill. Rob says, gotta love Landry for the question. Respect the deep dig. To get to the meat and potatoes instead of just yeah, I guess you're talking about the Burke thing. Milio says they love to control the narrative and hate the question about it. Yeah, I don't know what the narrative would be. I don't know what is the narrative to, like, if Joe Mixon got hurt out of the building and he's going to be out for the season, okay, you don't have to say anything. That's fine. I don't have any issue with that. But like, what is the narrative to Matt Burke call plays? I don't even know. He did a good job. DeMeco does a good job on defense. They won a game. Matt wanted them to take the mic from Landry for asking a good question. Nah, Matt Burke didn't care. He's fine. Marcus Wiley Martinez says, I think Ryans just found out he has too much on his plate. Well, like calling the defense and stuff? I don't know. Like, is Todd Bowles still calling defense? Like, I don't know is that real? Like, if you're having to monitor your OC, is that even what you're doing? I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that it's nothing. James Clancy says it's scared thinking. No reason to devote that much effort unless they're afraid of losing control of meaningless factors like public opinion. Yeah, it's weird. I think Miko realizes, this is Cap Insano 713. I think Miko realizes he needs to help Caley and CJ with the offense, and they don't want to throw anyone under the bus. Like what? And maybe there'll be a time where Caley doesn't need it. But what do these other offensive assistants do? Like what are these other guys doing? The Bill Lazor, the guy that they brought from the Patriots. I feel like Ben McDaniels they keep around because his brothers Josh and Casario and Caley like him. Like what do they do then? I mean, I'm not trying to be trite. I'm just asking. So is that throwing him under the bus if you're saying I just wanted to delegate? He's used the word delegate before. Isn't that kind of like delegating, just admitting it? I honestly think it's just overthinking. I think it's just overthinking. Ryan Justice says setup looks better each stream, man. I like what you've done with the credentials. Oh, yeah. Back there. Yeah. Daughter broke the glass, though. Dietology says Ross Tucker, Tank seen sprinting and drills. True. Tank hadn't done a drill. So I don't know what he was talking about. I haven't seen Tank sprint. And I just see him around the building and he like sits there. He sits there with the punt returners and sometimes he sits there with the receivers. We don't really get to see him a lot. I would imagine with how paranoid they are that it's, first of all, it's kind of hypocritical that, don't y'all think, I mean, I'm just asking. Don't you think it's kind of hypocritical that the local media is at practice for like 10 minutes, maybe 15, and Ross Tucker goes there. And by the way, they really try to control what is and isn't said. You should see the rules. Ross Tucker goes there and says Tank Dell is doing full out sprints and drills. I would be hard pressed to think Tank Dell is doing drills. He's not playing this year. He's in the building. He's getting ready. Tank Dell's not playing this year. So if they really, really, really want to control stuff, that's a weird thing to allow the guy who's going to go on national TV to say that. I don't know where the sprint comes from. Maybe he was jogging around a little bit, but full sprints, haven't seen it. Nick Jones says Texans Patriot way is weird though. Patriots built in the trenches. I can only remember 2 first-round DTs, and they've never built the interior O-line. Cheers. Oh, so you're saying that the roster building's the same? Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I want to talk about some changes on offense, as well as something that nobody's talking about. First, though, I want to talk about greatness. I don't know if people are expecting greatness this Sunday, but I know y'all enjoy being Texans fans, and you should enjoy being a Texans fan through thick and thin. And the best way to represent is the Texans debit card with TDECU. It is the nice, pretty logo. You've seen the commercials with CJ Stroud, and they're working with SNL as well. And we're very honored to have that. TDECU Stadium is going to be packed this weekend in the game between Tech and Texas. And you can get the TDECU Texans debit card. Whatever you want, whatever your style, you're going to score 15% off at the Texans online team shop with the TDECU Texans debit card. You can show your Texans pride, score savings while you do it. All you got to do is go to tdecu.org/Texans. Get your card today. That's tdecu.org/Texans. Membership required, insured by NC USA. It is a nice card. A lot of y'all have it. Y'all already had it before we even started reading about it. And we've gotten some messages from a few have gotten it since. It's very good. TDCU is a good place to bank with. And they are a great credit union. So I would strongly recommend that. They've been a staple around here for a while. Shout out to TDCU. Back to the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Wasn't O-line consistency trash for New England? I would say they did okay with Brady. I mean, he had to make it better. I wouldn't say trash. I would say he did a good job making it better, adjusting. Ashton Cook says, appreciate what you do, bro. Also, are you a Horns fan? Yeah, I've been a Horns fan since birth. I was born in Round Rock. My parents met at University of Texas. They got divorced, and I would take road trips to Austin with my pops every weekend. So yeah, I'm definitely a Horns fan. Didn't get in, but I've always been a Horns fan no matter what. So yeah, I was put right in the onesie when I was born. So yeah, been to every national title they've played in my lifetime, and Texas OU 20 times. So yes, big time Horns fan. Even though I went to damn near every every Big 12 school except that one. So yeah. Do I think Derrick Henry gets 80 yards rushing without Lamar in there? I mean, I think it's going to be harder for him. I would imagine that they would probably key on him. DeMeco's actually had a decent history of keying on Derrick Henry when he was in Tennessee. So I think they're built to stop the run. But 80, that's tough, man. That's a tough bet to book. Ryan says the reason I ask is Caserio helped build those O-lines right. I don't know how much he really had to do with what they did or didn't do in New England. I know he was there. He definitely didn't have final say. We know who had that. And they also had the best offensive line coach in the history of football, who's also a mentor of Nick Caley's. Speaking of Nick Caley, I do think that the most positive thing about this team, I think the O-line's been better than last year. Maybe that's not like a high standard, but I think the O-line's been better than last year. So I would give them some credit there. I do worry about the depth. We've talked about that. I worry about the depth in the O-line and the depth at running back. But I do think it's been better. I absolutely think it's been better. And I asked Nick Caley today what this offense does well, and he kind of emphasized that he likes what they got going on the offensive line. Here's what he said.
What would you say the offense does well? What would you say are the strengths, and what would you like to see improve moving forward?
Yeah, I think finishing, from an improvement standpoint, finishing, touchdowns, not just settling for field goals and trying to be able to sustain drives as you cross the 50. Those are obviously important things to be able to do. I think in terms of what we've done well, I think we're a tough team up front. I do. I believe it's extension to the tight ends, to the receivers. You saw, I think, an increase, emphasis in terms of blocking on the perimeter. And, I think that, there's a lot of positives that have come from that. But I think that, number one, the toughness, the physicality, our double teams and combinations have gotten better in the run game. I think our protection's improved from week to week. And, I think those are the biggest takeaways I take in terms of the things that we've done, the best so far.
And someone brought it up. I think it's I thought it was interesting when I asked Slowick this question last season, and he said that they were good on explosives.
Damn it, Bobby.
And they were not. The numbers kind of countered what he had said, and that was just kind of a
damn it, Bobby.
One of many damn it, Bobby moments. So we'll see what happens with Nick Caley. Like, I worry about his depth. I think he deserved to get hammered last week because I do think they should have realized, like, just think about it this way. Like, if they would have known that Woody Marks was, or if they would have opened their eyes and seen what everyone else saw about Woody Marks, are we talking about a 2-2 team instead of a 1-3 team? Like, should there be that much of a delayed fuse? And the problem with that is a lot of times, and you hear DeMeco actually saying he wants to see more from the rookies, and we'll get into potential changes. I have 3 changes on the offense potentially, and I have one that I can assure you is going to happen. Don't know how much, but I can assure you it's going to happen. But you hear DeMeco kind of asking to see more rookies, and I like where his head's at there. I think that's a good idea. And I think DeMeco is very good at trusting rookies to do his thing. So I very much can appreciate that. With that said, here's 3 changes on the offense. I want y'all to tell me if you think this is a good thing or a bad thing. And we'll start with number 1. Change number 1. Are we going to see even more Woody Marks? I like seeing Woody Marks in this role. I do worry about using him too much. And I also worry, I like Nick Chubb as a compliment, but I really just wish they had more depth at running back. Right now, you have Dare Ogunbowale, who they don't want to play on offense. They never really should have wanted to do that in a non-emergency situation. And you have Dameon Pierce, who they don't even trust to wear a uniform on Sundays. So if one of those guys goes down, we see what happens every year in the NFL. One of those guys goes down, you might be S out of L. Shit out of luck. I don't even know why I said it like that, like I was on a G-rated thing. But you'll be shit out of luck if one of those guys goes down. So how much more Woody Marks do you want to see? Do you want to see him get 85% of the carry share? Do you want to see it more like 60-40? Do you want to see it 65-35? Is there a chance they could overdo it? I want to see more Woody Marks. I think they want to see more Woody Marks. I think the extreme value of Woody Marks is in the pass game. Like, I think Woody Marks could easily be a 6-catch guy a game. I think Woody Marks, I think, like you saw, we talk about Patriots, like James White, Danny Woodhead for a stretch, like Kevin Falk before that. I think Woody Marks runs between the tackles. I think he's underrated between the tackles. I think he might be your best short yardage back. But I think the true, like, consistent value of Woody Marks. And next year, I think Woody Marks is part of a committee. I still think you use a premium pick on a running back. And you could even, with the extra picks, draft 2 more running backs and just have a complete youth movement at running back where you are a run-heavy team with running backs that can do multiple things. I've been begging for this for a long time, though. We won't get ahead of ourselves to draft. They still got a game. They got a lot of games, but they got a chance. They got a chance to do something. It's not completely dismissed. But I think eventually Woody Marks' role is you have someone that you really, really trust to run between the tackles. You have another back that you trust to at least make plays on Sundays. It's not Dare Gumbawale, and he's catching the ball 6-7 times a game. That's like my dream for Woody Marks. But I would say the usage, probably 60-40 with Chubb, 60-40, maybe whenever the time calls for it. But I don't think he's someone you just hand the ball to 20 times a game. Might be situations where it calls for it, but the superpower of Woody Marks is catching the ball out of the backfield. So I think you gotta figure out ways to get him the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield 5-6 times a game, no matter what, no matter who's there. 5-6 times a game, he needs to catch the ball out of the backfield. That's what I want to see. I think right now you want to see him run between the tackles, and it has to do with the fact that he's underrated at it, but it also has to do with the fact of what's around him. So that also has a little
Chubb and Woody.
That has a little bit to do with it. But I think eventually you get to where he's like a 5-6 catch guy at minimum. And he's a must draft in PPR leagues if we want to bring this back to fantasy. Change number 2. Heard DeMeco bring this up. Kind of like a little subtle request from DeMeco. More Higgins. I am fascinated that they trust Xavier Hutchinson right now more than they do Higgins. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Hutchinson didn't have a good camp. But we really haven't seen a ton out of him. Jaden Higgins is averaging 18 yards per catch. He has 3 catches, including a touchdown for over 20 yards. He's kind of a little bit more of a playmaker than Xavier Hutchinson. There's a lot more potential. Now, some would say that in the red zone is where his true value is. They were right on the fringe of the red zone when he caught his touchdown pass. So that could be true. But do we see a situation where they trust him more than Xavier Hutchinson? I think eventually you got to get there, right? Because if you had this much confidence in Xavier Hutchinson, and he did have a good camp, you wouldn't have drafted Jaden Higgins. What if they would have drafted Judkins instead, and they had Judkins, Chubb, and Woody Marks? Damn. It's almost like someone should have suggested that. That's a cheap hindsight right there. But I would like to see more Higgins. I'm actually with DeMeco on this, so I would like to see it. So those are 2 things when it comes to potential changes on offense. More Woody, more Higgins, where who knows? I think eventually we could get there. Maybe not there yet, but a change that I think will happen. And I would be willing to bet that we see this as soon as Sunday. How much? Don't know. We're going to see British Brooks at fullback. We saw British Brooks get a few reps. And the fullback, I think Jakob Johnson was getting like close to 20% of the snaps. But I think we see more British Brooks at fullback. And I asked Nick Caley about that. Let's try to see if we can read between the lines and see if he confirms that we're going to see that.
British get fullback rep in the last game. Is that something that you could kind of envision with Jakob out? British perhaps being a bigger part of the offense in that area?
Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army knife, really. I mean, we're lucky to have him. It's, the more you can do like anything else, I think he embodies that. So whether it's fullback role, whether it's obviously in the kicking game, but even carrying the ball in the backfield, like he does a lot of those things well. He's been steady ever since we, starting from training camp, and we're lucky to have a guy like him on the team, and he's very unselfish. So,
All right, so keep an eye on this. I think we're going to see British Brooks in a number of roles. And remember that I said this. You remember the early part where they would put Jakob Johnson in like motion and they would run behind him? Sometimes he would whiff. Sometimes it would be an okay block. I think you're going to see big ass 44 doing that. Remember when you see that, just hit me up and say, okay, I saw it. I think you're going to see that. I also think you're going to see him traditionally in the 3-point stance. And I think we could potentially even see him getting a carry out of the 3-point stance. I didn't even anticipate him to talk about him as a ball carrier, but there you go. There it was. So I think this is a change that we will see. How significant is it? I don't know, but I do think that he's an effing skull crusher. I mean, you watch him in special teams, you watch the way he runs. He's got a lot of experience as a special teamer. He's got experience as a running back. They let him personally protect sometimes on punt. Like he's a pretty complete player. It was interesting because last year that was the stuff that he was doing. That was how he made the team. And then this year he basically made it primarily as a special teams guy. So I would keep an eye on British Brooks and that role. And I do think you see him in motion, like lining up at tight end and then leading the ball carrier. And you'll see him in the 3-point stance. Remember, I said that. Feel pretty safe on that. Pretty safe in saying that, for sure. There's no doubt about that. I'll just read this, even though I don't know what it says. It says, serious question here, for real. It's always dangerous when you say that. This is from Rob. Why can this franchise not get a proven or quality fullback that we won't laugh at when he was at the fullback position? Since Leach, we've had trash multi-position guys. I mean, how many teams have like a fullback? Like, I don't know how valued the fullback position is. So I don't know. I don't know that they've even tried to do that. On the soup, like tried to find like a badass fullback.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Epad says he just had his second boy. Love the content. Shout out to you, my friend. My daughter just turned 2. She's been in daycare for a few weeks now. That's an awesome feeling to get that second. So you got 2 boys. Congratulations, man. Hopefully you're getting sleep. Hopefully they complement each other nicely. There's no jealousy, but that's great, man. Ashton says, funny thing, I was mad at Mark's pick. Glad to be wrong. No, he's a useful piece. Like when you draft a running back there, useful piece. He's already more valuable than 2 guys that they've let hang around for 3+ years, and Damian Pierce and Dare Gumbawale. It's not hard. It's not hard to do. You just got to commit to it. But yeah, I mean, they traded up for him. There were some other good backs there too. A lot of people were upset because Scatabo went early in that day 3. And they were a little bit disappointed with that. By the way, speaking of day 3 of the draft, getting way ahead of ourselves. Draftomania 2, SNL, we're going to fill someplace up. We're going to fill someplace up, and it's going to be crazy. It was pretty sick last year. It's going to be sick this year. We always do the live stream the first 2 days, and then day 3, we have the gathering, the Saturday gathering, which we will do this year. It's going to be Draftomania. It's going to be sick. St. Louis Rebel says, all we need is average offense to make a Super Bowl run. I mean, you have a Super Bowl caliber defense that hasn't even peaked yet, so you could be right. Malik again says Caley's a good OC and will be better. You already think he's good, huh? Mark should be used like James White / McCaffrey. McCaffrey might be a little much. Noel for this season. Ryans has him do punt. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Noel. Maybe eventually they get him involved, and maybe he's like one of those guys that you look up and there's like some sort of surprising long ass touchdown. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. The narrow path's asking for the sleeper picks this week. So I actually put Mac Jones over touchdown passes and yards in a parlay. I combined it with some other stuff, but that wasn't on sleeper. I haven't looked at the sleeper stuff yet because they typically don't drop the Kirk stuff and those stats till tomorrow. But if I was to make a sleeper pick, God, my survivor pool, I'm done. Look at that. The Rams. And I changed it to the Rams today. I'm really pissed at myself about that. So whoever's still in the survivor pool, you got the chance to win the signed Texans jersey. I wasn't going to win it anyways, but I still wanted to play. But as far as the Texans picks, if I was looking, I always take the under in Chubb yards, always. Although it might get lower and lower. Let's see what we got for Chubb yards. Woody Marks rushing yards is 54.5. Is that too much? Should I take the under on Woody Marks with all this Woody Marks love? Nick Chubb's all of a sudden 31.5. Sleeper's getting crazy now. So Chubb is higher or lower 31.5, and Woody Marks is higher or lower 54.5. I feel like they might be overdoing it a little bit. But I'll get on this. I'll do the sleeper picks tomorrow. I'm taking Wingo over 48 yards at Texas. Take the over on Marks. There you go. Take the over 58. $20 free at Sleeper. $20 free. Go to the Sleeper app. $20 free. No deposit required. Then you use the promo code Locker, and you get matched up to $100. So there you go. Higher, lower. I called it on Nico. Yes, I did. Last week. Sun shines on a dog's butt sometimes. Speaking of dogs' butts, this is a hell of a transition. But speaking of dogs' butts, my dog's butt is always very comfortable in the backyard because I got Texans turf. Shout out to Dan and his team for doing their thing for me. Best thing I did for my yard, whether you want a putting green, play area, no matter where you live, they got you covered. They're going to work with you. They're going to customize it. The drainage, perfect. Comfortable on the feet. Looks great. Easy to clean up. Easier than grass. No mosquitoes, no frogs jumping around. Best thing going, and they're going to customize it because that's what they do at Texans Turf. Go to TexansTurf.com. Let Dan do for you what he did for us. It is absolutely incredible. And I was a customer before, so I shopped for you. And I can promise you that Dan the man will get it done for you on the turf. Yeah, you look at what Sleeper's got. They got Woody at the 54.5. That's kind of crazy. You want to know something else kind of crazy? I was thinking about this. And I don't really get in the and if you're just tuning in, the Ravens, the depleted injury report. I didn't even mention this, but Sting and Anderson back at practice. So Derek Stingley, Will Anderson. Really not too much to be concerned about from the jump. They were back at practice. But do y'all realize this could be the marquee matchup in the NFL this week? If I don't get in the Shedeur Sanders talk, I think it's a little bit lame. I think it's like become kind of thirsty. But what if he hadn't told the Ravens that he wouldn't go there when they called him on draft day? Shedeur Sanders would be making his first start of the season. It would be against the Houston Texans. This would get the most national attention. This would probably get the most national attention of any regular season game that DeMeco Ryans has ever coached in. Shador Sanders versus the Texans, but he decided he did not want to go to the Ravens. It's something nobody's talking about. He's not starting for the Browns, but he would have gotten a start for the Ravens. Assuming, and I think it's a safe assumption to say, that Lamar Jackson is out. Would have been crazy. Marks, 2.5 receptions, higher, lower? I would take higher there. I'd feel more comfortable with the 2.5 receptions than I would the 58 yards. I would feel more comfortable there. You can usually take one. I would take higher on the 2.5 receptions. That's the direction that I would go. Who knows? It's going to be fun. They got to get the dub. You go into the bye 2-3, you get to regroup. It's going to be fun. They got it laid out for you. You know the defense is going to be ready to go. Offense, just got to show. Defense ready to go. Offense just got to show. Preferably earlier than the fourth quarter. I know that it was an explosive fourth quarter last time, but preferably a little bit earlier than the fourth quarter. I mean, they don't have anyone there. So you got to figure that out. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Subscribe, like, ride along. I am traveling, so I'm going to drop a video. I'm going to have it ready to go for tomorrow, 10:30. If y'all want to check that out, SNL will still be live at 4, but I will be on the road. Be back for the post game now. So appreciate y'all for coming through. Appreciate the support. No matter what happens with the Texans, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Appreciate y'all. See y'all at Spanky's the 17th and 31st. We're all in this together. Appreciate you.
Top 2 and we not too plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number 1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.